Hey everybody, in this video I want to talk to you about how to get a great night's sleep while out camping. So to start off, I want to say sleeping is a very personal thing, and I'm not going to say to ignore the advice you receive from other sources, because most advice is good from a point of view. But sleeping is a personal thing. If you consider going shopping for your home mattress, you'll go into a mattress store and there will be dozens of different mattresses to choose from based on materials, firmness, and price. And if you share your bed with someone else, you probably know that you might like your mattress a certain way compared to what they might like. You might like it a little softer, they might like it a little more firm. So sleeping is a very personal thing, and that doesn't change just because you're camping. To find the perfect sleep system for camping can be a little bit tricky because we don't have the same options to go to a mattress store and lie down on a variety of different mattresses. So we need to rely on resources like this video and try to get opinions of what works and what doesn't. Unfortunately, it will really depend on what your needs are. So what I recommend is that you consider what your requirements are at home and then try to apply those requirements for what you expect your sleep system to be like when you're outdoors. I would like to make a few recommendations, and I think these recommendations are sometimes overlooked for new campers and also campers on a budget, because some of these things might be additional costs that you might not need for your camping situation. But they are a few things that I've found have really helped to improve my sleeping while outdoors. The first thing I would like to recommend is that you get yourself a pillow. Now, if you're able to bring your home pillow out with you, then wonderful. But if you're going to do some backcountry camping, canoe camping, or wilderness hiking type camping, then a portable camp pillow is definitely worth it. I went quite a few years camping without bringing a pillow, and I woke up many mornings with a sore neck or having a night where I just couldn't get comfortable. I would bundle up my clothes or even put my backpack under my head, but the buckles and straps from my backpack would always irritate me and just not be the most comfortable situation. So eventually I invested in a pillow. Now this is a Therm-a-Rest pillow. There are many different camp pillows on the market, and the majority of them pack down quite small because they're foam or air filled and easy to pack and bring. They can be a little bit pricey because of their niche use, and compared to their size, it's difficult to equate the value, but for a good night's sleep, the value, in my opinion, is there. Another item that I would potentially recommend, depending on your camping situation, is a sleeping bag liner. So the one I have is the Sea to Summit Thermalite Reactor, and this adds, I believe, 5 degrees extra warmth to a sleeping bag, and in the shoulder seasons, early spring and late autumn, this is really handy. So I'm going to say also, in addition to increasing the warmth of your sleeping bag, I took only this while I hiked the Camino Primitivo last year and used this only as my sleep system. Now, it's not the most ideal situation, but for me, sleeping in albergues, this was good enough. There was already some warmth in the hostel, the albergue, and I was able to climb into this and get just the little bit of warmth that I needed in that situation. Very small, compact. Should you use it alone on its own? Probably not, but it worked for me, and it is an option. But to add additional warmth to your sleeping bag, if you find yourself cold out there, or with a sleeping bag that's rated for summer temperatures, possibly where the temperature is only going to drop down to 5 degrees, adding this will probably give you a much warmer, nicer sleep, and in the end, you'll wake up a bit more comfortable. So there's always the question of whether or not you should get a down or synthetic sleeping bag. And there's definitely advantages and disadvantages to both. In addition to that, I think I should say that probably one of the biggest mistakes people make when starting off camping is that they get a sleeping bag that's underrated for the temperatures they're going to go camping in, and they wake up in the middle of the night realizing it's much colder at night than it is during the day. Even in summertime, we can have temperatures drop down to quite cold conditions, 10, 12 degrees, which if you're not prepared, you'll have a pretty miserable night. So how do you choose which sleeping bag is right for you? Well, what I would recommend is you get a sleeping bag that is rated to temperatures that are colder than what you're expecting, because it's easy enough to unzip your sleeping bag and hang an arm and a leg out of it, or even sleep on top of it if you find yourself very warm. But you will always have that safety and comfort that you can climb inside of it, zip it up, and be warm even when the temperatures outside dip down to below what you expect them to be. Most experts out there will probably think that I'm crazy with what I bring out camping, but what I use for a sleeping bag is a 600 filled down sleeping bag that's rated to minus 15 degrees Celsius. During the hot summer nights, it's definitely too warm, but it's summer right now in Canada, and last night was down to about 10 degrees Celsius. I slept with this unzipped inside a few times, pulled it over top of me, and I was comfortable all night. There is one other point that I would like to make, and it's about these things and whether or not you should bring them or use them. What are they? Well, they're earplugs. I've used these on and off, and I don't know if I would recommend them. I would recommend them for some situations and not all. So if you're out solo camping in the wilderness and you're wearing earplugs, then you're also not going to hear if an animal or a person or something comes into your camp. So these can be a little bit of a hazard if you're camping alone, when your alertness should always be ready. But I have used these when I've been front country camping in a campground and there are people talking close by or cars driving by and other distractions that keep me awake. I pop these in and it muffles the sound enough that I can fall asleep easily. I also used them while hiking the Camino Primitivo, while sleeping in albergues, and yeah, equally useful. The challenge with earplugs might be that they take a little bit of getting used to. You gotta stick something in your ear, which is a strange sensation at first, but what I would recommend is if you think that you need these, then yeah, try them out at home a night or two before you go out camping and just get used to them. And then when you're out in the wilderness, it's not such a strange experience. Earplugs might also be useful if you know that you're going to be camping in a tent with somebody who snores incredibly loud. So if you're going to be with people who are noisy sleepers, then yeah, this might be the savior to getting a good night's sleep. All right, so that's it. That's how I've found how to get a perfect night's sleep while camping. Thanks for watching.